Welcome, friends, to lecture number 4 of Studies in Theatre MOOC program. And in this lecture, we will continue the discussion of theatrical genres. We had looked at various kinds of genres in the beginning of the previous lecture and how we categorize them, why we categorize them, and to what extent they remain very distinct from each other and how they come together to entertain us in different environment. Now, another kind of genre is mime. Now, mime is a performance oriented genre. The classification is performance oriented because when you want to perform a mime, so you write a mime. So, it's the action that guides this genre. Mime is a form of theatrical performance that relies on physical expression and gesture rather than spoken dialogue. Mimes use body movements, facial expressions, and gestures to convey emotions, ideas, narratives. Mime performances can range from comedic sketches to poignant storytelling and often require precise movement and timing. Now, please keep this in mind that miming is a very significant type of theater form, genre, where body is an important agency, face is an important agency to tell the story. In mime, we don't use dialogues, but we express everything with the help of our expressions and gestures, and therefore, the language that we use is the language of physicality. The grammar of this particular genre is the grammar of body. So it's a very significant kind of a thing, and people who are into body movements and they love to use their body to express can always try their hands in miming, but it does need training. You can see this famous mime artist, and his face is painted because we need to pronounce the expressions on face in mime because it's the face that tells a lot. There is a particular preparation that we have to do which is visible in this picture. So that is why I've chosen it here. Then we have melodrama, which is a theatrical genre characterized by exaggerated emotions, sensationalism, and simplified moral conflicts. It emerged in the 18th and 19th centuries and gained popularity during the Victorian era. Melodramas typically feature clear distinctions between heroines and villains, heightened dramatic situations, and moralistic themes. So, on the other hand, pantomime is a form of musical drama in which elements of dance, puppetry, slapstick, and melodrama are combined to produce an entertaining and comic theatrical experience, often designed for children. It is very popular and good for using in classrooms for children. So, these are two other genres, two other subgenres, subcategories, whatever you want to call them. One is based on heightened expression of feelings and emotions, dramatic situations, and also giving some kind of moralistic themes, that is melodrama. And then pantomime, where music is used and dance, puppetry, slapstick humor are used, and melodrama is also part of this kind of depiction. Now, farce is a theatrical genre characterized by exaggerated humor, physical comedy, and improbable situation. As the word indicates, it's a farce, something which is unbelievable, some kind of farcical situation is created, and in that farcical situation, humor comes out, uh, and interesting situations develop. Suspense develops, and how it will get resolved, that audience wants to solve that out while watching. So it often features mistaken identities, misunderstandings, and absurd plot twists, leading to chaotic and farcical sceneries. A lot of chaos is there in these kinds of things. They may be twins, there may be similar names, there may be puns used, there may be homonyms which are used in creating farcical situation. Maybe there are people who are characters who are walking into another text, That is a farcical situation. Some character from history has come into a character of present. So these are the ways, this is how different kinds of farcical situations are created in a farce. And it relies heavily on comedic timing. Timing has to be very good in doing this kind of a play. Rapid pacing, exaggerated performances to elicit laughter and amusement from the audience. You can see this very beautiful poster which I have taken, and it is a publicity poster of a company which has given 3 or 4 scenes of farcical situations from their play. So you can see that some people are hiding, some people are running away, some people are falling, some people are sharing something stealthily with each other. So this is a farcical scenario. Now, experimental theater. This particular term is important because this particular term has given birth to so many kinds of theater cultures and subgenres in theater. And in the last 100 years, we have seen a lot of experiments being done in theater, which have resulted in the birth of various kinds of subgenres and categories of theater. Experimental theater is an innovative and unconventional approach. There is nothing conventional, there is no particular kind of an experiment because it is experimental, so many things can be possibility. Presenting theatrical works, it challenges traditional norms and explores new forms of expression, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the medium. I've already told you in a previous lecture that how absurd theater pushed the boundaries of the conventions of theater, conventions of drama that existed. So experimental theater refers to all those kinds of theaters that have tried to rebel against their own form, against their own genre, against their own institution of theater before anything which is outwardly. It is the first thing, the spirit of these kinds of theaters is rebelling, going beyond the box, going out of the box, and trying to create some kind of freshness in the presentation. Embracing new ideas, techniques, and styles. Narratives can be non-linear to create experimental atmosphere. Traditional plot structure is most of the time violated. Audience engagement has also become a method of performing these kinds of experiments. Then it is multidisciplinary because it can sometimes incorporate dance, music, visual arts, and technological interventions to create the atmosphere of performance. Physicality of different kinds has also become a matter of experiment in theater, and it has given birth to various kinds of situations, genres, subcategories, emphasis on movement, gesture, body language. Then symbolism has also inspired experimental theater. Heavy use of symbols and metaphors to convey meanings. Maybe you have some property on stage, maybe you have clothes that speak something, maybe you are carrying something in your hand, or maybe it is some kind of backdrop that speaks for it. Then minimalism is also one of the byproducts of experimental aura of theater because as we were looking at the stage pictures of Shavian plays yesterday, I shared with you, in the previous lectures, and there I showed you some pictures of heavily decorated stage in the in the plays of George Bernard Shaw. And now all that has been removed from stage because a kind of clutter is felt in the performance, and because a stage is generally a make believe. Audience know that this is not real, so why to keep anything to fool the audience? Because even if there is nothing, and when you make certain actions on stage, then audience will also be convinced that this thing is present. So this is minimalism of different kinds. Minimalism in costume, minimalism in stage decoration, property use, light use. At all levels, this has worked. And absurdity, which is a very prominent trope in many theatre productions all through 20th century, especially post 50s, has become a very dominant kind of method of experimental kind nature. Logic and reality are questioned, breakdown of dialogues is there, disjointed dialogues, no plot line is there. The play begins and ends at a juncture which is not decisive, that doesn't look like a beginning or the end. So these are certain aspects of absurdity that are present in theater. Then some known names which have participated on all these kinds of things. Jerzy Grotowski is known for his poor theater approach, focusing on actor training and physicality, and he's known for his experimental theater. Then Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, which has been a very prominent example in my discussion, a classic example of existentialist theater with minimalist staging. Then Anne Bogart's Viewpoints employs a technique of exploring movement and spatial relationships. Then other aspects of experimental drama, which refer to innovative forms and kinds. Some of them are one-act plays. One-act plays have become sites of experiments, and they are a condensed form of drama, often focusing on one single theme, event, or character arc within a short time frame. Then we have closet drama. This form of drama is intended for reading rather than performance, often written to be experienced privately. An example of closet drama is Faust by Goethe. Goethe's Faust is a very good example of private drama or closet drama. Then you have another genre called kitchen sink drama. This portrays realistic domestic situations, often emphasizing social issues in everyday life. And a notable example is Look Back in Anger by John Osborne. So, kitchen sink drama has also inspired, this genre has inspired many plays, and Look Back in Anger is a very good example of this style. Theatre of the Absurd is one more. There it was, I discussed absurdity, and now we call this theatre of the absurd as a genre. This explores the absurdity of human existence, often featuring illogical dialogues, nonsensical situations, and surreal imagery. Beckett's play Waiting for Godot is a quintessential example of theatre of the absurd. These are some pictures that tell you all that has been spoken so far about these various kinds of plays. You can see a closet drama, Beckett, Look Back in Anger, and Oscar Wilde's play. So these one act play, closet drama, these are different kinds of pictures that tell you how the theater looks so different when we are following its study, when we are following its presentation on the basis of its genre, on the basis of its categorization of a certain mood, certain experiment, certain feeling, certain politics, and presentation format. Then we look at the genres in Indian theatre. Classical Indian theatre embraces traditional forms like Sanskrit drama, which is called Natya, which includes classical texts like Kalidas's Shakuntala. It is known for elaborate costumes, music, and dance. Then we have the category of folk theatre in Indian tradition, which thrives in rural areas and reflects the folk tradition of different regions. Some of them are like Yakshagan from Karnataka, Bhan Pathar from Kashmir, Tamasha in Maharashtra. Similarly, there are others like Nautanki and Nautanki in North Indian region, uh, Ras in North Indian region, then Lavani in Maharashtra, Terukutu in South India, and in East India also there are so many other traditions of this kind. Sometimes it becomes problematic to call these performances as the traditions of one particular state that we have presently in our country. That is why I'm using the north, south, east, west terminology, because various states, it's not just one state. For example, Chhau is present in Jharkhand, Chhau is present in Odisha, Chhau is present in Bengal. So it's the region that counts, that becomes a better way of looking at a particular folk theatre performance. Then puppetry is another very significant genre in Indian theatre. It utilizes various forms of puppetry such as Katputli in Rajasthan, Bomalattam in Tamil Nadu. Here, of course, as you have seen, intricate puppet manipulation are there, puppeteers are there, and through their puppeting, they tell you story, they give you costume presentation, and this is a very significant entertaining industry in various levels of spheres. Then contemporary theatre represents modern and experimental theatre movements in India, uh, as you know, singing. Uh, if contemporary theatre, when I want to say that there is a field which is developing so fast where many genres, many subcategories are taking birth because of the combination of various kinds of things. They combine Sanskrit classical tradition to absurd theatre and puppetry or circus and music, light, dance, drama. So there's no end to defining the realm of contemporary theatre, but this is a genre in which very lot of plays will figure, and you can categorize lot of plays in contemporary theatre. Then street theatre is a significant paradigm of Indian performance spectrum, because it is something that has originally taken birth in a very specific sense in India, and it has become now so widespread in the entire world. Although street performance has always been part of various performance culture in world, but calling it street theater and using it for sending out social or political messages, etc., has given birth to a very specific kind of genre which we call street theater. And Nukkad Natak is a very important example of this. Then Terukuttu in Tamil Nadu is also a notable example. Then you have dance drama. In India, dance drama is a very popular method of presenting plays, performing theatre, which combines dance, music, and drama. So, Bharatnatyam, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, and various other performance traditions involve the assemblage and combination of storytelling, singing, dancing, music in order to present performance and tell stories. So, we have come to the end of this lecture. Now, to sum up what has been said in both these lectures, it's important to create some kind of perspective. I will try to revise some points that I've already shared with you. The first thing is that we must understand the meaning of the word genre and the meaning of the word categories, etc. We must also try to, try to undo certain conditioning that we have because of our literature classrooms. Because when we study a genre in literature, then it is different when we study the genre in theatre, because there are so many possibilities that similarity is present in two different genres, and this can be done on purpose as well, to create a better understanding or a better representation of the message or story that the writer or director want to convey. The second thing is that the categorization and presentation of genres can be done from two perspectives. One is the action, performance, and the second is text. Sometimes a text is written as a tragic text only, and therefore it will be performed as a tragedy. But many a times there is a possibility that a text is written as a tragedy because it had to be performed as a tragedy, or it is written as a comedy because it had to be performed as a comedy. So the style of performance that we are choosing, the kind of rasas that we are trying to incorporate in our presentation, in our production, they also govern, they also guide the text of the play. Because when you are performing a play, then text of the play, the literary text of the play, the written text of the play has to be relooked. certain innovations and changes are made in that, and to suit the selected emotion and selected mood that we are going to present in our production. So this has to be kept in mind. The other thing is that we can look at Indian tradition, and we can see that in Indian tradition, the categorization is not done as tragedy or comedy, but categorization is done as a combination of various emotions, various sentiments, and various moods. So it is not a very clear distinction as tragedy, comedy present in Indian performance productions, theatre productions especially. Or then we look at the Western theatre productions or Western theatre, then it follows the Aristotle's poetics in a certain way, because now people do not restrict themselves to Aristotle's poetics to a very great extent. It has become a matter of only the relative association with poetics that is present in contemporary productions in Western culture as well. So, but the plays which are written as tragedies, plays which are written as comedies, are performed as tragedies and comedies, or histories, or romances. But my question is, will there be no tragic element in a history play? Yes, there will be. Will there be no comic element in a romantic play? Yes, it will be. So the categories should not be looked at mutually exclusive from each other. Genres are not mutually exclusive from each other. It is the dominant trait that makes them different from each other, but they are not exclusive. The dominant trait can be tragic, the dominant trait can be comic, but there can be lot of similarities at the level of emotions that are involved, the rasas that are involved, the sentiments that are involved. Now, one more aspect that we must keep in mind is that nowadays, when we look at the plays, 21st century plays that are being written, it is difficult for us to say that a particular play is a comedy in its entirety, or a particular play is a tragedy, because plays are rarely written now with an intention to be called as tragic play or a comic play or a tragicomedy. It has been lost as a method or as a practice, or I should not use the word lost, rather I should say that it is not possible to talk in very black and white sense or black and white manner nowadays. The presentation of theatre productions now cater to the shades of human nature, and even when you are looking at productions of Shakespeare's plays, you will find that there is a dilution of the element of tragedy or the dilution of the element of comedy, despite the fact that these plays have been traditionally called tragedies or comedies and are read as tragedy and comedy. So things have changed a lot now. It will be probably incorrect for us to expect a very puritanical distinction present in theatre productions, where you can judge something as purely comic or purely tragic. This has been done for the good, or this has happened for the worse. It is a matter of debate, discussion, research, inquiry, but this is reality. You don't find plays being written as tragedies and comedies anymore. So that is the crux of the matter. But having said that, it is important that somebody who is a student of studies in theatre, for him or her, it is crucial to understand all these genres in detail, minutely, in a nuanced way, and then only we can choose or reject what to keep in our repertory, what to carry on with. If we do not know about them, then our selections, our combination, our permutations that we want to create will not be neat, will not be very organic. So it's important that we go about uh, creating plays, writing plays, performing plays, or doing theatre with the knowledge that may sound sometimes very hegemonic, or I must not use the word hegemonic, but knowledge that sounds very specific, because those specific detailing help us actually create the nuances, the possibilities of shades of human nature. And that is why so many beautiful cinema, films, movies, OTT platforms, series, and productions in theater are visible all across the globe. So, this much for the discussion of genres in theater. I hope you have understood it well. Thank you so much. See you in the next lecture.